Good day, gang. David Gupple, Thinker Farmer here. It's May 30th, 2025, about noon at the Archwood Farms. I'm here in the well pit field. We last grazed this field about March 20th, came out of it, so it's been about a 70-day rest period. March and April, we got very little moisture, but May, I'd say if I haven't looked at the exact count, but it's been about 10 inches of rain this month. So really a lot of rain, making up for, I don't know whether you call it lost soil moisture or lost grass production, because early spring was really dry. Of course, everything's seeded out. This is the well pit field. You can see the power pole there in the distance. And that's where our well pit is. That's also where our main energizer for the Archwood Farms is. And we have just got a tremendous amount of diversity in here. In front of me, I've got fescue seed heads. I've got down in the canopy below, I've got red clover or purple clover. I've also got white clover. And I've been walking over the forage in this area, so it doesn't look quite as nice. We've got Johnson grass coming up because we've had plenty of moisture. And of course our orchard grass. And I'm sure we've got our Kentucky bluegrass in here, but it's buried under the canopy. I don't get to see a lot of Timothy. This field actually has some Timothy. I saw a little bit of it, but I mean we've got a lot of different cool seasons in here, and also clearly the Johnson grass, so warm seasons to come. And this field is looking really good. A lot of Archwood Farms right now is looking really good. And with all the moisture right now, even though we're looking towards June, I'm going to move the herd along fairly good clip. We've got it's not milkweed. I think my coworker Josh told me this is dog bane, but cattle will eat it. There's your red clover blossoms. So I don't know how many species I just counted, but well, there's our Timothy seed heads. This one's just coming up. So between what is that? Timothy, fescue, orchard grass, Kentucky bluegrass. Of course, we've got some buckbrush and multiflora rose. I don't really like counting those, but we've got those here. We've got Johnson grass, red and white clover, and I think we might, I'm not for certain, but we might even have some brome in here. I'm looking to see. Most of the seed heads we're looking at are clearly fescue. Right now for this season, with this amount of moisture, we've got a lot more forgiveness in the farm than we have even a month ago, and it feels really good right now. I'm hoping to use, I've said this in another video, I'm hoping to, once we get into the summer drier spell, hoping to do some more with stock density. So maybe we'll have some videos of some high density moves later on. Right now, we're giving larger areas. We're doing basically daily moves. I haven't done I've experimented a little bit with bi-daily moves with fence lifters, but I've had some other responsibilities and things that have come up, and haven't done as much of that as I would like to. Man, the amount of bird life out here, listening to the birds, is just incredible. But we're also going to be experimenting with some different rest periods on a couple different paddocks on the farm. 70 days, we grazed this in March. March 20th. 70 days is really a long rest period, probably I would say longer than is ideal, although everything changed in the last few weeks, because up to a month ago we still had blunt tips in most of our paddocks, or a number of them, and so I was kind of cautiously going into spring. You always are trying to figure out that balancing point of whether you're being too cautious or whether you should go ahead. That's one of those things I always wonder. I usually play it safe, because most grazers that I've heard from and articles from the Stockman Grass Farmer tell you the worst thing you can do is graze blunt tips. So I always try to leave forgiveness in the recovery period, and if need be, take a little bit more utilization wise. Although right now, with everything like it is, our utilization rate is probably a third of the forage, maybe not even that. I would say a third. We're leaving a lot, and I mean, if you look down into the canopy, some places there's not a lot of feed, and you can see from the dry spell what happened. You know, my boot is right there. There's not a ton of forage there. If you look down into the canopy, although I'm looking at a pretty bare spot here, but my boot's not even covered. If you took all the stem away and parted it down to here, you might be at 6 inches, 7 inches of grass. That's a low spot. Clearly over here we got Johnson grass, and I would definitely say that's over a foot. But I mean, the spring was dry, and it really is favoring our warm seasons. We're seeing Johnson grass come up everywhere. So if we graze lightly, we should have some really good feed through July. I'm hoping August as well. There's another Timothy, some more Timothy seed heads. It looks like we've got a groundhog hole here. Anyway, yeah, so we're going to experiment with some different rest periods. I told y'all we had a field that we bale grazed, Wakefield paddock. We ended up grazing 2 because we had some extremely cold weather fronts come through. That tree line you see in the distance, that is in the pond field. That's one of the fields that we bale grazed last winter. We're giving it a longer recovery period. And then, see if I can point something out in the distance. That far tree line you see is in the weedy field, but directly to the west of it that way, and kind of up on that hilltop is Wakefield, the other paddock that we bale grazed. And we're hoping, we're already giving it a good recovery period. We've got Johnson grass coming up. We grazed it, I'm going to say, it was in April, so I want to say it's probably been 30-40 days, but we're not going to be grazing that for a while now. So both of those 2 fields, we're going to let the Johnson grass put in deep roots in the soil, and we'll see what we get for it. Yeah, anyway, that's just kind of an update on the pasture situation. It's May 30th. We've got 3 weeks to summer, and lots and lots of soil moisture, so definitely favoring our warm seasons. And with that, blessings to the Journey gang, and keep it real.